Hello, I'm Maciej Mikos and you're watching World News live from Warsaw. Russian attacks against Ukraine killed at least 3 civilians and injured 76 others over the past day, local authorities reported on Monday.
Russia launched 32 Shahed drones overnight, targeting multiple Ukrainian regions, including Kharkiv, Dnipro, Donetsk and Sumy. In Zaporizhia, Russian forces carried out more than 600 strikes across 17 localities in the past 48 hours, according to local military authorities. A large part of the Zaporizhia region remains under Russian occupation, including the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant. The area is hit daily, leaving dozens injured.
Ukrainian forces struck a military-linked factory in Russia's Bryansk region, the Ukrainian General Staff confirmed on Monday. The strike on the facility reportedly caused explosions and fire.
The General Staff said the full extent of the damage was still being assessed. Russian sources are yet to confirm the strikes on the plant. However, on Sunday night, the regional governor issued a statement warning residents of Karachevsk, where the facility is located, of a missile threat and instructing them to remain indoors. The town's high-tech manufacturing facility produces a range of electrical connectors for both military and industrial use.
Ukrainian Foreign Minister Andrii Sybiha said that Kyiv aims to end the war with Russia this year. He made the statement during a panel discussion titled "Should Europe be Feared?" at the Warsaw Security Forum, which featured the participation of the Weimar Triangle defense ministers.
We want to end this war this year. And after the meeting in New York between President Zelensky and President Trump, we are really in momentum. I would be very cautious. So we got additional diplomatic dynamic for our peace efforts in a proper dimension or direction. That's important.
In an interview with TVP World, Lieutenant General Piotr Błazeusz, the commander of Eurocorps, said that Russia's recent drone and aircraft incursions into NATO airspace are a test of operational procedures. The full interview with General Błazeusz will be broadcast on our channel at 6:45 p.m. CET and will also be available online.
Russians are testing our systems to learn our rules of engagement. So in reality, you have to be careful about disclosing the details because it's a never-ending story. It's like in Afghanistan when we were having certain standard operating procedures or tactics, TTP so-called. They were learning, they were trying to discover them, and we had to adjust them every so many few months. So same here. Russians are testing the system, our responses, and they are looking for and more innovative, more disruptive ways of showing potentially that they have the upper hand.
Moldova is staying on the path towards joining the EU. In Sunday's parliamentary election, the pro-European camp decisively defeated the pro-Russian parties. Our Balkans correspondent Paweł Trzaskowski is on site in Chisinau and has more details.
The final results of Sunday's parliamentary elections in Moldova came through, and it is a pro-European party of Action and Solidarity, founded by the country's president Maia Sandu, that emerges victorious from the Sunday's ballot. The party of Action and Solidarity secured enough votes to be able to form a majority government and will probably keep Moldova on a steady path towards EU accession. The party of Action and Solidarity defeated a coalition of socialist and communist parties, the Patriotic Bloc, securing more than double the votes of the Patriotic Bloc. And all this amid massive Russian interference into the electoral process.
We saw attempts to interfere in the electoral process by criminal groups supported by the Russian Federation, attempts to destabilize the situation, bomb alarms and other provocations, both within the Republic of Moldova as well as abroad.
Despite massive efforts, Russia failed to destabilize Moldova and influence the outcome of the vote, something that Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky mentioned today during Warsaw Security Forum.
Russia failed to destabilize Moldova, even after spending huge resources to undermine it and to corrupt whoever they could. What matters is that this election victory happened without decoupling.
The decoupling President Zelensky mentions concerns Ukraine's and Moldova's EU accession bid. Both countries applied for EU membership in 2022 after Russia invaded Ukraine, and over 3 years they remained coupled in the process. However, the winners of yesterday's ballot in Moldova have ambitious plans of joining the European bloc within 3 years, a pace that might prove difficult for war-torn Ukraine to keep up with. From Chisinau, Moldova, for TVP World, I'm Paweł Trzaskowski.
Cut from corruption, not from education. With this and many other similar messages, students in Romania took to the streets on Monday. Around 500 protesters demonstrated their dissatisfaction with the government's decision to cut social benefits for students. According to local media, students are disgruntled by a 40% reduction in scholarship funds and limited transportation subsidies. Local authorities argued the decision was a preventive measure to keep Romania's budget deficit from expanding. Protesters, including teachers, believe the government is not interested in cooperating with them. On Monday, the finance ministry in Bucharest was expected to present a draft budget adjustment due to be approved in a government session next week. France and Germany are determined to defend all NATO territory, said Polish Foreign Minister Radosław Sikorski after a meeting of the Weimar Triangle diplomacy chiefs. The format includes representatives from Warsaw, Berlin and Paris. Ukraine's foreign minister was also invited to the meeting and was reassured that the Weimar Triangle countries will continue to support the war-torn nation.
Today we discussed in particular the strengthening of Europe's security. Recent Russian provocations against Poland and Estonia are disturbing. They show that Russia is still seeking confrontation and is not interested in peace at this stage. That is why we discussed ways to counter Russian provocations. I was pleased to note the unequivocal response of our Weimar partners to these latest Russian actions. Thank you for strengthening the air defense of the eastern flank with additional French and German fighter jets. This is a visible sign of solidarity and unity among our NATO allies and European Union partners. The statements made by my counterparts from Germany and France strongly reflected their determination to defend the entire territory of NATO.
Polish space company Kyiv Instruments became the first to reach a valuation of 1 billion zlotys or 230 million euros on the Warsaw Stock Exchange. Among the stalwart of the country's fledgling space industry, Kyiv saw its valuation soar once the company secured a contract with the Polish government.
This is the Polish military.
3, 2, 1.
And it's going to space.
Liftoff of the Falcon 9.
Due to the war in Ukraine, Poland now spends almost 5% of its gross domestic product on the military. Some of those funds go to building up the country's space capabilities, which were non-existent just 3 years ago. And Polish industry stands to benefit, with the government signaling a 130 million euro contract with Kyiv to build and operate a constellation of small observational satellites. This is where the company's valuation at the Warsaw Stock Exchange really took off, culminating in today's billion zloty valuation. And with the government spending like crazy on defense, there are already other Polish space companies looking to get listed and profit from the windfall.
And that will be all for now. Thank you for watching. World Talks is coming up next.